Here we are at Iowa Speedway for a video of Xfinity Series short track racing. This, of course, is the strong suit of my number 40 Motorsports Business Management Chevrolet, as we don't have the aerodynamics or the horsepower to really compete on the super speedways, but when we get to a driver's track like Iowa Speedway, all of the game is on. So, let's see where we can stack up in qualifying here at Iowa Speedway. So out of turn number 4 at Iowa Speedway, we are going to cross the line in qualifying, put the car only 35th as the AI decides to wreck it. For some reason, 35th is a terrible qualifying effort. That's actually pretty shocking how bad that is. Well, we got a long way to go here at Iowa Speedway, starting from the back, but I think we can move up. Just got to keep it clean and stay away from a lot of those rivals that we have. Alright, so coming down for the green flag in 35th place at Iowa Speedway in the daytime. Nice to finally have a day Xfinity race. Of course, we just came from the Brickyard, so that was a day race, obviously. No lights in Indianapolis. That's weird. And the car almost flips over. Well, that's a good start to the race. Stage 1. Already spinning, getting the car almost upside down somehow, but miraculously we are still green and still racing, so that was not a good start, as you can clearly tell. We got a long way to get back up to time at Jeski. Not really sure why any of that happened. It seemed like, well, I guess there's that transition spot on the apron. I guess I got run into that by J.J. Yaley. I think Yaley's a rival, so I'm guessing he raced me too hard there, and naturally we got wrecked, so we're going to have to work our way back up through the field, but the car seems to be handling quite well now. So as you can see, we're definitely catching the back of the field pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure my first race at Iowa, I got spun in turn 1 as well, so not really a change of pace from the last Iowa Speedway race, but I think we can do a little bit better than we did in that one. I think if we can keep this race green and just have the stage cautions, we'll be in with a really good shot of getting a good result here. A lot of times it seems like my strategies are kind of ruined by yellows, so we're going to try to keep the green out as best we can here with 11 laps to go on the stage. So that's pretty much plenty of time. It's only a 25% race. I decided to do that as opposed to a 50% race because I'm pretty sure the next race will be the cutoff race for the chase. We obviously don't really have to worry about that considering the amount of wins we have, but figure we can knock this knock the regular season races out in this video and then move on to the chase. As we get in behind Carl Long here, we're getting a nice run on our teammate, the boss man, of course. And once we launch up into this pack, I think we'll be okay to start really gaining positions. Car definitely working a lot better on the long runs. Feels even better than it was in qualifying, to be honest with you. So I'm not really sure why everything was particularly as bad as it was in qualifying. I did actually change a few things on the car between qualifying and the race. I lengthened the gear ratios between first, second, and third to fourth. I felt the gear ratio was too long there. I also took some tape off the grill. It's possible that those changes have really affected the handling of the car, which make it significantly faster. As you can see, we just ran our fastest lap of the race, working around the outside of J.J. Yaley and Garrett Smithley. And hopefully around time Majeski, though, we know Majeski is a rival. He doesn't like us very much. And we'll try to get around the outside of him. We're going to go 3 wide. Well, kind of. And now we'll go 3 wide. I called it a little too early. Around the outside of Kennedy. Making contact. And Kennedy is apparently the rival because he put me in the wall. He's going to lose it. That's probably going to bring out the yellow and screw me over. Yep. Okay. Okay. So, since we're at the back anyway, we're going to make a strategy call here. All that is all good to me. Get it repaired while we've got the chance. And we know Kennedy's now going to race us hard, but we're on the outside. I think we can probably get the positions that we lost prior to the green flag, or prior to the yellow in turn 1 if we get a good restart here. Try not to run into the back of the boss. I do not want the boss as a rival. That would be silly. That would be truly, truly silly. But we are working around the outside here. Almost in the wall. But we make it. So we're already up 4 spots. And working our way off into turn 3. Getting that high line working. Majeski slow off of turn 4. We will pass him as he tried to wreck me going down the main straightaway, but we were so fast. We had such a run on the outside that we were just able to pass him. Look at these fresh tires. Look at these fresh tires as we get a little bit of contact going with Ray Black. A lot of contact with Ray Black. Contact with David Starr. This is the problem with having a lot of rivals, folks, is that you can't really do anything, especially when they're all at the back. But this time we make a move to the outside, past Ray Black Jr. That time very cleanly, though I got quite a big push on the exit of turn 2. Now we're going to work around the outside, hopefully get around Armstrong here. Good run to the outside. Crossing the start-finish line. Armstrong not a rival, thank God he didn't put me in the wall.
Clear low.
And breaking up into the top 30 past Reddick. And now looks like we're about to finish the stage here underneath Stephen Light. Well, I had to miss the apron, and here comes Reddick back to the inside. So Reddick's going to, well, he didn't get there because the stage caution came out. I was saved by the stage caution. So 28th, that does mean we'll restart on the outside, assuming nobody comes into the pits. And nobody in front of us is coming into the pits, so we won't pit either. We'll stay out. We'll keep these slightly fresher tires than everybody else has. And I think we'll have a decent restart here, hopefully anyway. And again on the outside. Back to racing here at Iowa Speedway. A little bit of contact to the outside wall, just trying to stay away from Stephen Light, because I know he's a rival. As we really get the car worked off at turn 2 there, it was sliding a little bit. Get a little bit of contact with Kane there. Just trying to work around the outside again. Stephen Light just making life difficult down there on the inside, keeping it 3 wide. A little bit of contact with Tyler Reddick puts us up in the wall. I'm just trying to stay away from some of these guys. I don't want to really aggravate anybody. I certainly don't want to cause any more rivals to pop up, as Reddick is just going to try to drive me down the back straightaway there, but we kept him away from keeping us in the wall. Almost get up into the wall ourselves. Into Reddick again. He's going to that time get the advantage on me and put me in the wall, so that's unfortunate. Again, I can't get baited into putting him into the wall because that'll just bring out the yellow and screw me over. So we just got to keep running high. Try to get that run around the outside of him. There we go. I think I cleared him this time, and I absolutely cleared him. We'll also clear Kane as well. Going into turn 1, grabbed a little bit of the brakes. And you can see the run we got on the outside. Oh, don't understeer. Okay, good. Good. And now Reddick will give me a shot into turn 3. Have a little bit of Ganassi horsepower helping me out into 3 and 4. Now onto the main straightaway. Across the start-finish line, a little bit of contact. We got to really use up Jones there. I didn't really want to, but that's the way we had to do it. So we're getting around the outside of Bubba Wallace. We got to stay clear of Logano as well. He's a rival. The further up the pack we get, the less rivals we're going to have to deal with. But at this point in the race, or at this point in the field, it's just everybody's gunning for me. So we just stay ahead of Kane there. Here comes Gase to the outside. Working the inside is not helping me. You can see the understeer is real as we make a little bit of contact with Bubba there. 3 wide down the main straightaway. We're going to try to work this high groove again because we were way better up here than we were down there. And again, making it 3 wide underneath Brown. Kane not giving up, but he finally heeds that position to me. We're looking at the top 20 right now as Kane trying to dive to the inside. Can't quite get there. In behind Coleslaw here. 5 laps to go on the stage. We need a miracle to get up into the stage points. Coleslaw got run into by Logano. Coleslaw got up into us. So Logano racing with no holds barred at the moment. We're going to continue running this high lane. Just trying to get that momentum off the corner. That's so important with a car like mine. Like I said, that's not very aerodynamic and it's not very powerful. Now around the outside of Bubba. And in behind Custard here. To the outside we go. Can we get Coleslaw? Not yet. Not yet. We got a couple of Penske's as well up there. Guidance Counselor Brad, Joey Logano, as we continue to try to make Bubba Wallace a rival because we don't have nearly enough rivals as it is. Logano way to the inside, almost, and we've got pit stops occurring. This is why we don't bring out yellows, David. Okay, now don't crash. Don't crash. Whatever you do, do not crash. Ugh, really? Come on, keep it green, keep it green, keep it green, keep it green. Nope, stage ends. We'll be in third. But that's not really what I wanted. If that had stayed green, we would have lapped the field. We get some stage points. And everybody is coming into the pits. Everybody is coming into the pits, so we will come in as well. We'll get 4 tires, repairs, and hopefully have some good track position, which we do. 6th place. Ty Dillon, Blake Cook, Hemrick, who is a rival, Logano, rival. And so we got a couple rivals ahead of us in row 2. So, of course, we're starting in row 3 with 32 laps to go. So we'll all have to make up one more stop. You get 25 laps to a full tank of fuel. As we get into Logano there, car feels very loose on the restart, which is probably a good thing for running up top. Definitely felt like the car was tightening up quite a bit on the end of that last stint. Really good run down the main straightaway on Logano here. Send it off into turn 1, on the throttle in the center of the corner. It's still a little bit of push in it. I wasn't trusting it not to hit the wall there on the exit, so we'll fall back to 5th. Staying ahead of Almirola in the fake Smithfield entry. Now we get a good run on the outside of Logano. Logano blocking to the outside. Of course, he is a rival, as you are well aware at this point, but oh, and Hemrick makes a mistake, gets down below, and Logano will get held up by Hemrick. Blake Cook, a little bit of contact with Cook, and now Cook very slow. What on earth was going on there? Does he lose it in the middle of the pack? Regardless, we've lost a position to Almirola. Not sure what was going on with Blake Cook there. Just completely lost all sorts of momentum. I made contact with the back of him, but I wouldn't have thought that would make him slow down. That was very strange. Very strange indeed. So now, a couple of bushwhackers up here. Eric Almirola, Joey Logano. And in behind Almirola and to the outside of Logano. Can we get the job done? It's a nice move to the outside, but not quite one I got to pull off. In fact, Almirola made a move on Logano to the inside, so we were 3 wide there for just a second. And now all the way to the outside. Not quite catching, and now we'll get around Logano. So 1 position as Logano gives us one last little love tap to remember him by as we power around the outside now of Almirola. Can we get there on Eric side by side, kind of shoving him low down the back straightaway? Hopefully Logano can give me a little bit of a bump draft there. Didn't quite give me what I needed. And it's actually going to allow Logano to the inside. He hasn't quite gotten by me yet. A little bit more contact. He's really trying to spin me out. Didn't quite work out there. And we definitely worked Almirola down low. Side by side. Not quite going to be able to get there yet. Oh, contact there between Almirola and me. Again, just hanging on is Almirola. Just hanging on. Crossing the line with 25 laps to go. So now we're in the pit window where we could pit and make it to the end of the race, but to the outside we go. Not going to work, and now we've got Harrison Rhodes all over the back of us. Let's try the inside, shall we? To the inside of Eric Almirola. Try not to hit that apron. And we stay ahead of Almirola, so maybe this was a good idea to sneak to the inside of him. Not use that outside lane too much, and down to the inside we go. Taking that lane away. Can we keep it away from Harrison Rhodes as well? Yes, we do. So up into 3rd place here at Iowa Speedway. So 2 positions to go. 1 is occupied by our rival, Daniel Hemrick. and one is occupied by a very fast Ty Dillon. Both of those cars are RCR affiliated. Actually, both RCR owned, I should say, not just affiliated. And now we need to stay ahead of Harrison Rhodes and Blake Cook. And Cook has moved up well up the field from where he fell after that little schmozzle where he had some issues. I ran into the back of him, unintentionally, of course, but regardless, the end result was the same as Rhodes looking to the inside now. And we got to use that mid-corner speed. It's really the only advantage we have over the rest of the field. Dive it off into turn 3. Try not to get that car too low that we spin on the apron. Pretty decent through there. Just got to hold off Rhodes here. Crossing the line with 21 laps to go. Long, long way to go as I get on the brakes just a little bit. Keep it rolling through the center of the corner. Nice and good. Yes. Continuing to stay ahead of Blake Cook. Dive it off into turn number 3. Too low, too low, too low. Car almost got sucked around there. Had to back out of it. We'll lose position to Rhodes and Cook. So we'll need some draft here to get back up into third. Well, they got too low on the track there in 1 and 2. That'll allow me to get a run here on Rhodes. It's possible that these two could help me actually suck back up into that lead group. We'll see. As we get in behind Rhodes to the inside of Rhodes. It was a nice run off of turn number 4 there. And we got a good draft off of Blake Cook. Diving it off into turn 1. And we cleared Rhodes. So now it's a battle between Cook and myself for third place. Rhodes giving me a nice draft down the back straightaway. Maybe a little too fast entering turn 3. No, that wasn't too bad. Car bucked and shook a little bit. But it all worked out in the end. And now we work into turn 1 once again. 18 laps to go. Just behind Blake Cook. We've definitely pulled away from Harrison Rhodes now. So the battle is for third between Blake Cook and me, and boy, oh boy, was I close to that apron. So was Blake Cook. Neither of us really suffered from it, though. I do wonder if lap traffic is going to play into this at some point. As I was on the brakes there, trying to get the car to turn in. Couldn't quite get it down where I wanted it to. And Cook was able to pull away just a little bit, so we'll work it off in turn number 3 again. Again, got to just be careful there, because Rhodes is all over the back of me. I've definitely lost some time here with 16 laps to go. And there's a yellow. So there goes the pit strategy out the window. And this is going to be interesting. So we will definitely pit. We'll definitely take 4 and 2 cans of fuel. We don't need to repair the car. Everything's fine on that aspect. So 22nd. Why are we this far back? I'm not really sure. I don't know why I'm that far back. That is very strange. But regardless, we're back to green. Okay, well, I assume some guys took 2 tires. I have no idea why we fell that far behind the field on a restart like that, but okay. Well, now we've got some serious work to do. To the outside. We'll just use the advantage of the fresh tires. I guess we've got 4 fresher tires than everybody else does. With 12 laps to go, just a little bit of contact to the outside wall. Nothing particularly race affecting there. Junior Motorsports has been completely ambiguous, or completely anonymous today. Haven't really even seen them, but now we see Elliott Sadler and William Byron and a whole bunch of fellas. Sorry, I had to pause my game, Elliott Sadler, and save my cat. He'd gotten his claw stuck and was hanging off my chair. I should have filmed it, but I'd rather have saved my cat from dangling the entire rest of the race. So if there was a little bit of cut in the video there, I apologize for it, but sometimes the health of my cat comes first. Anyway, we've got 10 laps to go here. We've got about 10 positions we can make up in this pack right here, as we're working around the outside of Allgaier. And in behind Elliott Sadler, again, the guy we tried to wreck unintentionally. And Eric Almirola is really falling back through the field as we give him a little bit of an unintentional bump draft down the main straightaway. We shove William Byron into turn 1, shove him again through turn 2, and make a move 3 wide through the center, now making it 4 wide underneath Eric Almirola, and pulling it off somehow, barely. That should have probably been a wreck, but screw it. We got through it okay. That was a nice rhyme, wasn't it? And now Sadler bulldozing his way through on the bottom gave me a nice lane to work underneath Ryan Sieg. So we'll gain 2 spots there. Now we got to be careful underneath Sadler. He's not a rival, but Logano certainly is. A little bit of contact with Elliott, but not too dramatic.
Car there.
Now we got to try to battle with Logano here without aggravating him too much. The key is going to be getting around him. How can we do it? Well, working to the outside is not a bad course of action. Had to lift off the gas just a little bit. Don't let them in front of, or don't let them get by you. 6 laps to go here. Just a little dab of brakes to the outside we go. And there's definitely a top 10 in it for me. If I can get this car working properly, is Logano is to the inside and Suarez is now there as well, which is not making this easy. Logano pulls up in front of me. He's like brake checking. Out of the outside of Logano, just can't quite clear him. It's going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Logano keeps that car just ahead of me, just annoyingly ahead of me. We'll get that run on the outside, just can't quite get around Logano still. We cleared Suarez though at least, which is a good thing. And now Keselowski, guidance counselor Brad, will pull in front of us. We'll get a nice run though around his teammate. And can we clear the Penske duo? Almost. Boy, Logano really tried to get me there. We will slice to the inside. Oh boy, here we go. Inside move on guidance counselor Brad. Hello. Bye-bye. Nice to see you again, Brad, but that was a nice move from me. Nice and smooth, but again, we've only got 3 laps to go now. So we need to make a few more of those here if we want to break up into the top 10. Annette the Threat just ahead. That's the guy we need to pass. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get back to our 3rd place that we had earlier today. That's unfortunate because we really had a good run going here. If we'd had a green flag pit stop, and it looks like possibly a car coming into the pits. Did somebody try to stretch it to the end? That will be ridiculous if they did. And yes, that is Daniel Hemrick in the pit, so we will move up to 10th with 1 to go. Did Daniel Hemrick try to stretch it to the end? That was a very silly move if that was indeed the case. But regardless, working onto the back straightaway for the final time, and there's a yellow. Never mind, it's not the final time. We've got 13 laps to go. Blake Cook is the leader, or 13 laps remaining in our fuel tank, so clearly I could have short-filled, and that's why I fell back to 22nd. But with NASCAR overtime here, anything can happen. We're 10th on the restart. Jeremy Clements just ahead. Here we go. And this is where I wanted to be on the restart. If there was going to be a last restart, this is where you want to be on the outside if you've got a car that handles like mine. Well, we went around the outside. We got 1 position. That was Clements. Into turn 3. Suarez making a move to the inside. Is he going to get there? No, he's not. So now we're going to get the white flag. 1 lap to go.
1 lap to go. Give it all you got.
So who is going to, where are we going to shake out here? We can run around the outside. Brandon Jones just to the inside. Eric Jones just ahead of us. All the Joneses. We're trying to keep up with them. To the outside we go. Oh, I made a mistake there. Made a mistake there. Lost a position to Annette the Threat. Can we get him back by the line? I don't think so. It's going to be 9th place. Very, very close. That was a hard-fought race, but that was one of my better drives of the season, I think. So, 9th place, a good solid top 10. Cook took the victory. Logano had a stage win. That's interesting. I don't know when that happened, but Definitely a well-fought, well-driven race for me, if I may say so myself. Wish we had not had all those yellows. I think we would have had even better positioning had we not had those. But strong result. Let's head back to the garage as we take a look at the earnings and points as well, and just see exactly where we ended up getting. Obviously, Iowa, not a very rich race. Money isn't a big concern. 15th in the overall points, but with 14 playoff points. Again, we're good looking in to what I think will be the last race before the chase. Let's see. So, yeah, the incentive contract's not going to happen. And here we go. Ray Black Jr., I see you got a top 10, but can you do it again? Ray Black Jr. with his sick, clever rhymes. Good job, Ray Black. I appreciate that. I rhymed in this video before you did, but it's all good. Okay. Oh, we've got the Glen. So, I would like to do a 50% race here, but I see that we've also got a Monster Energy hot seat here. So we're going to go to the Glen right now, and then we're going to do, of course, a Monster Energy race in the next video. So, our first road course race of the season in the Xfinity Series at the Glen. Here we go. So here we are at Watkins Glen. How about I do something a little bit different and take you for a full qualifying lap here as we are headed down into turn 1. Braking nice and late down to second gear. Get it right on the inside curb. Maybe could have taken a little more speed through there as we work up into America's Eau Rouge, the S's at Watkins Glen. Try to take a nice line through there. Don't try to lose too much speed as we head up onto the back straightaway here. A very crucial part of the circuit coming up, which is, of course, the bus stop chicane. As we get down here, get a nice gear down. Try not to get a course-cutting penalty because those are brutal on the curb. And now into the carousel, place where it used to be a corner. Now it's kind of a much slower corner before they put the bus stop in there. And now down the other little straightaway here. Of course, this is the NASCAR layout. No running the boot today. Down a single gear for that corner. Right out onto the curbs. Down another gear. Maybe a little too much there. On the exit. Definitely lost some time. Definitely lost some time in that final corner. Let's see how it affects the starting position as we cross the line. 24th. So probably could have done slightly better there. We could have probably out-qualified Ryan Reed, but I'd say we did pretty all right. Allgaier will lead Brendan Gaughan from the front row. So here we go at Watkins Glen for a double weekend, or at least the first half of a double weekend. Well, it looks like the apocalypse here at Watkins Glen. We are doing this like right before nighttime for whatever reason, but we are green and racing at the Glen. So the usual NASCAR game slowed down into turn 1 at the Glen will put us up almost in the top 10 as we get a little bit of contact with Clements there. But we will clear him now. And now in behind Coleslaw Custard. He's very slow through the S's. So is Casey Kane. In fact, Casey was so slow that I ran into the back of him. He was so slow I forgot to English there. Now here comes J.J. Yaley, just absolutely on the warpath there, trying to kill me. And now we've got trouble, what looked like trouble. Everybody going very slow through the bus stop. And somehow we managed to get through there okay. Well, no we didn't, because Casey Kane, bye-bye. Oh, you know what I should have done, and I will probably do for the Cup race, unless I find there's no troubles here. We might turn the non-strict yellows on for the Cup race, considering that we need to kind of run by road course race rules. And on a road course race, they don't need to throw the yellows every time a car spins out. Just make a little bit of contact with Brennan Poole there. I think he's a rival, so we need to be careful here. He's just going to pull around the outside of me, no problem. But we will outbrake him down into turn 1. A little bit more contact there. We almost Harvicked his Montoya, if that makes any sense. To make a very, very old and very outdated reference to a race at Watkins Glen that happened before most of my viewers were born. Oh, well, that was a bit of a contact situation there between myself and Coleslaw there, but or not. Yeah, that was Coleslaw. I thought Can't remember who that was. All right, here we go into the bus stop. Down a gear. Oh boy, boy howdy. That's a little fast, David. That's a little fast through there. And you can just see I was not slow in, fast out. I was fast in, slow out, and that is not the fast way around a road course. But we get a really good run off the carousel, and now we're starting to see the back of Eric Jones's number 20. How many more laps in the stage? Well, we've got 6 laps on fuel, 2 laps to go on the stage. So we are really making up some good time here. We just clipped the curb there, and we're gonna not go down. Whoop. I was gonna say I'm not gonna go down to second gear there, but I should have said I'm not gonna hit the grass on the entry. Brendan Poole not too pleased with me.
Clear all around.
So we really lock up the brakes. Poole is really trying to Boris said me. Maybe that's a more recent reference. Oh, as we're so close to the grass there on the exit of the first half of the S's there, but didn't quite hit the grass. Now in behind Coleslaw. Are we gonna try to outbrake him into the bus stop? No, I don't think so. But well, Brendan Poole definitely decided how fast I was gonna enter that corner. Well, now we're gonna have to battle with Brendan Poole once again, and I'm not too pleased with the racing quality that he's doing to me, so we may have to wreck him. I think we're coming up to the last lap in the stage, though. So discretion may be the better part of valor on this one. As we run out in the Brad Keselowski line out there. Oh, that was very close. A little too much understeer through there. I might loosen the car up a little bit when we have a pit stop. It does feel quite tight as we got 1 lap to go in the stage. Yeah, these guys are just able to brake way later than I am. For whatever reason. I need to brake earlier and get that run through the corners, because otherwise it's just not working out. Oh boy. And here we go. This is going to be probably a big crash. Yep. Yeah, car way too tight. Definitely way too damaged after the contact with Poole. Thankfully everybody's pitting, so this will help me out a little bit. We'll repair it. Go down on the wedge here. Also going to take some tape off the grill because I felt like that really helped me at Iowa. Alright, so we're only in 14th after doing all that crap to the car. So that's a good thing. And we've just got to get around Brendan Poole now. Here we go. Back to the green. I know Lupton's probably a rival, so we're going to stay away from him as best we can. Thank you, Coleslaw, for keeping... Whoop. Sorry. And wow. Rip that stage. Literally went 1 corner in that stage. Okay, that was interesting. We've got 15 laps remaining. It's definitely going to need a green flag pit stop to get to the end. So, yeah. I knew this was going to be a short race. I did not expect we'd lose an entire stage to a yellow, but what the heck is... What in tarnation was that all about? They literally went single file. We did a classic restart there. Now we're back to green. I'm gonna be careful because the car is clearly looser than it was to begin with, obviously, because I did that intentionally. But obviously, when you get on the brakes, it definitely makes for an interesting experience. But we move up a couple of positions here, in behind Joey Logano, in a race that he actually participated in the Xfinity Series this year, because he's running the paint scheme that he won with at Watkins Glen. Apparently made the race very boring for everybody. I don't even think I watched it. I do remember people on Twitter saying it was boring, though, so I'll trust Twitter on this one. Because we're just going to get Logano just a little bit of cage rattling going on there. And we're going to go way, way out wide. But it didn't give me any kind of a penalty, so track limits... again, are subjective, up to interpretation, and we'll just continue on. We got, again, these RCR cars seem to be coming on very strong here at the end of the season. Aggressive goes around.
Stay right there.
Aggressive goes around. That's going to be one of those classic Watkins Glen crashes. Oops. Well, I'm definitely not driving very well in this race. Seems like I'm carrying so much more speed through the corners than everybody else is that when I get to the corners, I run them over,
Be smart out there.
and then we get a yellow. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to turn the yellows down for the Cup Series if we're going to have this kind of nonsense happening. We get down a gear. Ty Dillon was having none of that. He tried to outbrake me and ended up causing a crash.
Car right.
In which Jeremy Clements, we're yellow again. Holy smokes. All right, everybody's in the pit, so we'll come in as well. We'll take 2 tires since we haven't really done that much running. We'll get the lead. Excellent. So I might actually be in good shape here.
Almost ready. Nice.
This might actually work out for me.
Green flag. Green flag.
Well, we definitely got a better restart than Ty Dillon. We got 5 laps to get to the end. Down a gear.
Car left.
Ty's trying to drive around the outside of me.
Your left.
We'll stay ahead. I had to do that. I had to drive him a little bit dirty there. Lift off just a little bit. I'm going to drive a little bit conservatively here, getting up the hill. Just try to get it through the S's without smacking the wall like it did earlier. And this time, things worked out a lot better for me. Down the back straightaway. Working off into the bus stop chicane. Down a gear. Just drive it nice and easy through there. Try to carry the speed off of the chicane and into the carousel here. Down a gear. Try to get that momentum off. The nice torque off the corner, which we do. We've already got 1.2 seconds ahead of Ty Dillon, which is exactly what we need to do. Game seems to be lagging a little bit, so I'm worried the yellow is going to come out. Game lagging usually means somebody is spinning, somebody is crashing, but still no sign of any kind of flag coming out yet. So it's a little slow through the final corner. Now we work onto the main straightaway. 4 laps to go. So we've got an entire stage to go. And one stage we didn't even get to run because of nonsense cautions. Car's still a bit tight through there. Ty Dillon, he's still there. I mean, he definitely got a better run through the final corner. Seems like this is our best section of the track. Getting up the S is better than Ty. And then down here into the bus stop. Down a gear. That was a good run through there. That was a really good run. Now we gotta try to get the torque. Down a gear. On the throttle. This is gonna be a big track limits. Well, not really. We were 4 wheels off, but screw it. Down the back straightaway. Down a gear. Try to find that apex. We kind of found it. It was there somewhere. I'm going to try to slow down early for this corner. And I still didn't get through there properly. Ty Dillon's going to close down big time because he's just going to get a way better exit there. Down to second gear. Ty Dillon really closes in on that main straightaway. So that's definitely his best section of the course, which is concerning to me because that's the one that leads onto the start-finish line. But, again, we're better through the bus stop, better through the carousel. And as long as we can just keep putting time on him between those 2 points, we'll be all right. Full throttle through the second part of the bus stop. On the throttle, out of the carousel. This time we're going to have a much better line, keeping the track limits in the straight and narrow there. Down the straightaway again. Down a gear. Finding the apex. Out to the curbs. I'm going to try to turn in late this time. Try to minimize that understeer, which we did. And did we keep a good distance between myself and Dillon? This time it's a little bit better. Ooh, but a little bit of a lockup going into turn 1. Gonna have to use a lot of the curb on the exit. And this time actually get through, looks like we're gonna get through the S's very well. That was a really good entry. Just a little bit of a lift on the entry, and really got the apex good. We're almost 2 seconds ahead of Ty Dillon there, so we really pulled out a big gap there. Down into the bus stop, just a little bit of a cut there. And I was a little bit worried about how that car was reacting over that first curb on the second half of the chicane. But it's all good right now. We've got 2.2, 2.3 now out of the carousel on Ty Dillon. This is what we need to be doing. Down a gear. That was about as close to that curb without hitting it as you could possibly get. Now into the final corner once again. Oh man, I'm getting way too close to that wall. It was like a dump truck pushing up into that wall. But we got 1 lap to go. That was a 1:13, fastest lap of the race for me. And that was not a good run through turn 1, but the gap is only 1.7. So we're holding it together. So we got 1.6, 1.7 over Ty Dillon. Down the back straightaway, one of the back straightaways. I called 2 of the straightaways the back straightaway on this track, but screw it. Here we come, down into the chicane for the final time. Down a gear. Just keep it together, David. Just keep it together. Here we go. Nice use of the curbs. Nice arc through the carousel, diamonding off the corner. We've got 2 seconds on Ty Dillon, so we really just have to coast it through these final 2 corners. Just keep the car on the straight and narrow, David. The black stuff is good. Right out on the curb. We'll try not to aggressively go around here at the final corner at Watkins Glen. We'll get it off the final corner, and we are going to take an Xfinity road course win at the Glen.
Nice work.
Woohoo!
Man, that's cool. Win, baby.
So an Xfinity Series win, that is fantastic. That'll add to our total, and once again keep us just safe in that chase. We just need to make it to the chase at this point, and we're doing everything we need to do to get there. So money-wise, let's see how rich the Zippo 200 is. Yeah, 105,000 to win. That will always do good for the fact that I can't use my money at all for winnings in this race. Somehow we lost places in the points. I'm pretty sure I was 14th before, now I'm 15th. But regardless, whatever, screw it. We've got 3 wins, 19 playoff points. That's all we need to be doing. Let's head back to the garage and see if there's anything else to take a look at before we head to the Sprint Cup race at the Glen, or the Monster Cup race at the Glen. Oh, I haven't won in so long, I forgot. We need to celebrate our victory here at the Glen in the old cash for claims heap, as John Force would say. And there I am, pumping my fist, very happy to have taken victory at the Glen. So we just are going to miss out on the incentive contract. Yeah, screw it, whatever, I won anyway. Whoa there, D Skywalker 1. Didn't know you could drive that rough and still win a race. Hashtag NASCAR Cowboy. I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative comment. So Blake Cook, way to play it right down the middle, buddy. All right, for the Cup Series, here's the sad thing. Here's a really sad thing. I'm going to end up turning off my console, and I'm going to lose the Ganassi ride. Maybe let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our fingers crossed that in the next video, when I turn off my console, I turn it back on, we'll still have the Target ride that I could have for next year. Let's just cross our fingers and hope and pray. But in reality, it's probably going to be Chase Elliott's car, and I'm going to be a sad, sad boy. So we'll see you in the next video, and hopefully I will still be driving for Target.